Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time now for Car Talk right here on K1, the one you trust. It is Thursday. The sun is shining. The vehicles are glistening at the Doenges family of autos. Brad Doenges in studio. How you doing, Brad?
Good morning, Tom. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful morning. Was out at the dealership. It's kind of cool this morning. Wasn't so bad. It's hard to believe, though. It's only been a week of summer. As warm as it's been. A little bit crazy.
When you said it was cool this morning, I want you to hang on to that one, okay?
Yeah, no, I think that was a brief bit of, just a little respite from all the rain yesterday. That was nice to get that too, and put some dust on the cars, and but we're getting that cleaned off today. I've seen a lot of people out at the dealership preparing for vacation road trips and getting their vehicles maintained before the trip. Some even getting new rides.
That's always good.
The car business has been in the news this week with ransomware and cyber attacks on one of our main operating systems. That dealerships have these things, software systems called DMSs that run everything, and one of them, major ones in the country, had a cyber attack, and it's been down for almost 2 weeks. Those unfortunate businesses are having to do things the old way on paper, and they're getting ready to enter their month-end process. I just can't even imagine that difficulty. But yes, not at Doenges. We are still up and operating.
But you have 85 years experience, so in case anything like that ever happens.
We can revert back to the old process.
Joe, need you.
Joe could show us. You're right, yes. I've got a guest here today, Cory Nelson. Say hi, Cory.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well, sure. Welcome. We're glad you're here. You work at Arvest, and you're the president of Young Professionals of Bartlesville.
I am.
And that's great. Welcome.
Yes, and thank you.
YP is one of my favorite organizations, just because you guys always have lots of fun and
we try to.
And get people together. And a few years ago when I was the president of Chamber, we had. I was just involved a whole lot more, but that was, you guys do a lot of great work too, and have a lot of events and connect the people that come to Bartlesville, often from other parts of the country and stuff, to our great community. And that's, I think, a really important thing, because Bartlesville is kind of unique in the, I think, quality of life stuff we have, plus, just for the great small town that it is.
Yeah, I would say, so Young Professionals, we try to make it a great place to live, work, and play here in Bartlesville. And I think we try to do that for current residents, but also for future residents. We want to bring people here to Bartlesville to do that, so they can, buy a car and they can help us.
So for our employers and the vibrancy of our community to have young people want to live here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we do a lot of things, and I would say so Brad, if you feel young at heart, you can still be a part of Young Professionals. So 21 and over, but all the way to young at heart. So if you feel young at heart, you can still be a part of our organization.
All right. Well, that's awesome.
Hey, Brad, you and I are just old enough.
No, I do feel young at heart. I've always enjoyed what you guys do, and I know you just finished up the Hot Street Party for benefiting Bartlesville Education Promise. That's a great event.
We did, yes. It definitely stood up to its name this year. I think it was one of the hottest days, and when we were setting up, I didn't know if we were going to make it, but we did it. We pulled it off, and it was definitely toasty, but it was a great time. We enjoyed ourselves for sure.
That's good, and I'm sure you've got other activities coming up. And
we do. So we on July 9th, actually, we so every month we try to do some type of social event, but also some type of like lunch and learn. And then we also try to do a volunteer event each month. And so in July 9th, at Sooner Junior from 5 to 7, we're going to do a social there. So everyone can come. We have a 75 people limit, but we're going to pay for everyone to golf. And so that's going to be really exciting. So bring your family, bring whoever you'd like to. It's going to be a fun time. And then July 18th and 24th, we have a home buying series. So we did this last year. And the intent of this is to help people understand whether they're a first-time home buyer or maybe this is their second home or they're just trying to look for something different. We bring some experts in and they talk through some different processes and answer questions. So this will be a 2-day thing, but
it is a process.
It is such a process, and I feel I've think this is my third house I've purchased, and I still am learning things when I go to these things. So definitely a good lunch and learn process, but that's all on our Facebook page as well. But one that I'm really excited about as well is, I know this is a little far away, but on August 9th, we are actually having a TED Talker come in to Bartlesville. Yes, I'm so excited about her. So I've known her for a little while. She's an actress. She's done TED Talks, different things. But her name is Rena Cook, and she's going to come in on August 9th and do a series for us. So
she's going to speak on voice and how to.
She is going to talk about how to do a presentation and like take the fear away. And so we're really excited. We feel like we could use that as young professionals, right?
I can use that
so,
as an old guy.
Yeah, you can come. Yeah, you can come.
The sales team.
Yeah, you can come. So we're really excited about that. Yes. So. Coming
It's
soon.
a great skill. It's so important. You know, after all the thousands of these radio shows I've done, that's one thing that's unique about it, and one of the reasons I enjoy it so much is that it gives me a chance to kind of practice the storytelling of the dealership and what we do around here, and invite people like you from the community on to kind of make it interesting. And you know, so I get what she's doing there. That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
And so that was August
9th.
9th.
It's on a Friday.
Rena Cook is her name, right?
Rena Cook, yes. She has a website and a YouTube and obviously her TED Talk. So I encourage just to go check her out and see and sign up for our seminar. Yeah.
Okay. And you know, so I don't know much about your background. Are you from around here, or are you an implant?
I am an implant, but I feel like I'm from here now. I've almost been here for 9 years.
Okay.
And so my husband actually graduated from here, and so we lived in Owasso.
All right.
And we decided to come here when our kids were getting ready to start school.
Okay.
And we were looking and researching, and Bartlesville won the draw there, and we've been very happy. And so we're almost celebrating
good.
9 years.
I love to hear
here,
how people
so.
get to Bartlesville.
Yeah.
So there's always a story there, and it's you know, it is a great community, and it's a great place to raise your kids.
Oh yes, oh yes. They've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed the school system and the sports and all the things. They've really dipped their toes into everything, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that's one thing you can do in Bartlesville is there's access to everything, and it's a place for everyone to get engaged and really find their passions and what they like to do.
Yeah.
And what do you do at Arvest?
So I am a business development representative there, and so my role is to be out in the community, which is nice because that definitely helps with young professionals. But my role is to help our business customers that we have currently, and just so they can have one person to go to. So really the idea is that I'm quarterbacking that relationship. So whether you're a business customer and you need to get a loan, or you need some treasury management, or whatever the case is, you can come to me directly and I can help navigate those conversations.
Help you access the bank services.
Yes. And so you don't have several different contacts that you're going after. But also my role is to bring in new businesses as well, and to foster those as well. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you here in Bartlesville, and so glad to have Arvest and all that, YP and what you guys are doing.
Yes, I will say another plug for Young Professionals is I did not work for Arvest when I started with Young Professionals. I worked for a different company, and I was recruited to Arvest. And so Young Professionals not only helps people with their current roles and things, but I do feel like it gives you exposure to other opportunities for different places. And so it was definitely the best career move I've made.
Well, it is a great networking opportunity. You do meet people, and because it's a lot of, there's social activities and things, so people are having fun, and it's part of the chamber too.
Yes,
so
we are a leg of the chamber. Yes.
And there's so many great networking opportunities there too. So it's that's a great service they provide our community. You know, and we're heading into July 4th here around the corner too, and big celebrations coming up. I know I read about a cool one in Dewey at the Dewey Hotel, where they're going to have the Tom Mix gunfighters come out, and then have stories about the old rodeo days. And I would have loved that when I was a kid. The Tom Mix Museum was one of my favorite places, and so that sounds like fun. And then Freedom Fest out at Sooner Park.
It's a blast.
And baseball, Winget, and their team's in town tonight for a doubleheader. And I saw Evan, that incredible accomplishment. Evan Farbaugh, the sports director here at the station, has broadcast 1,000 games of baseball or something, different
Yeah,
sports,
yeah.
and that is an amazing
And
accomplishment.
he's a very young man, too,
Yeah,
so to hit it at the age that he did is really, I don't think anybody's going to touch it.
Is it a record?
Wow.
I think it may be, but I've done this for 50 years, and it's the first time I've seen anybody his age hit that mark
Awesome.
that fast, so. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations, Evan, and thank you for all your support for the Indians. I know he's done a lot of Indians games, and,
Yes, he does.
and it's really great. Team's had a little rough stretch here lately where we lost a couple games, but they're out there tonight. I know it'll be another tough one, but the intercollegiate teams are pretty salty, but
Intense, very intense games.
yeah, no, we play a pretty serious baseball. So
Yeah, we do. Very high level. Very high level.
that should be a lot of fun. And then Winjet tournament, like I said, coming up on July 4th. And we've got Land Cruisers. So we did get our first Land Cruiser in, our Toyota Land Cruiser, the brand new return of the Land Cruiser. Really, we've been excited about it at the dealership, and we got our first one in and delivered it this week, and that was really
got a winner.
great. Got a winner, and now we're off and running. We got our second one in just last night. Another 1958 model is what they call it. It's a great vehicle, black on black, blacked out, really cool. They've got two more in allocation that'll be here soon. So, and all those are available. We've dispensed with the application process, which was confusing to some people, but it was great because that way we were able to get our first buyer on that highly prized first one to be, we were sure to have a local buyer that way. And
Good
got a
deal.
Great delivery this week right here in town, so you'll see it running around, and that's exciting. We're really proud of that new vehicle. It was so neat to have it on the showroom and people exploring it. It's got a very excellent design. It's got really comfortable, just sit in, and I was surprised by the size of the back seat for a vehicle like that. It's a really tough, and you can tell it's got all the off-road chops you'd ever want. But there was kind of a debate with the people whether some people thought you shouldn't use it, and others thought that would be a waste of it not to use it. Out there in the dirt. No, it's a two-row SUV, so
Okay.
yeah, it'd be suitable for 5 seats. The back seat isn't huge.
Okay.
So like Sequoia would be bigger if you want a little more room, but it's similar in size to like a 4Runner. A little bit smaller than the last Land Cruiser, not as expensive. More of a harkening back to the original Land Cruisers of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, which were really tough Jeep-like vehicles, very known. They're still around the world that way, lots of them in very remote places that are where people rely on their vehicles because of their quality and reliability. Obviously, Toyotas are well known for that.
And to quote some of the people who saw it, ooh, ah.
Yeah, we've got on the Ford side, we have a Bronco Raptor in stock. That's an incredible beast of a vehicle. So you can check that out against the Land Cruiser. Those two are pretty comparable kinds of vehicles. Great looking vehicle with the painted fenders. Really looks tough, and it's big and lifted and factory set up for just about anything. That vehicle.
For the good stuff.
Yeah. And this time of year, I know that people are thinking about that as they head off to Colorado or wherever you're going for vacation. And so we've got a lot of stuff coming up over the next few weeks in town and at the dealership. So I noticed this week was our 10th anniversary of the ribbon cutting of the Toyota dealership when we built the whole new one. So that's pretty exciting. We're celebrating that out at the dealership. So bring Cory back in a little bit here to talk about if people want to get involved with Young Professionals of Bartlesville, what's the easiest way to do that, and how do they find out more or come to a social event? What's the best way to start?
Yeah, so we, like you mentioned, we are a part of the chamber. And so if you go to the chamber's website, there's a little guy on there and it says Young Professionals. You can just click that little guy and there's a sheet that you fill out. So really easy, first name, last name, email, phone number, something like that. And then you get our newsletter, which we send out every single month. You're going to get information about our events and different things, or maybe even things that we did in the past that we're celebrating. And then our Facebook page has all of our events on there. We really try to keep that up to date. So if you have Facebook, please follow us. That's definitely the easiest way. But we also share a lot of nonprofit events that are happening in Bartlesville, or just events that are happening in general, like the Freedom Fest that you had mentioned. Right. We're actually collecting volunteers for them, for Kiwanis. And so if you're interested, I'll put a little plug in there. If you're interested in volunteering, please sign up for that. That's on our Facebook page. I think we're going to be judging the costume contest, which we're really excited about. Yes. And even maybe helping with some of the Jupiter jumps. But that's the way to sign up. And coming to a social is always the best way. Reaching out directly to me, happy to have a conversation. But even sending a message on Facebook, we're happy to have a conversation with you. But if you want to dip your toes a little bit deeper, we actually have a few committees that we do each year. So at the beginning of the year, we do our Emerging Stars. I'm not sure if you heard of that this year, but we did an event this year. It was the very first one, and it was a gala. And the idea behind this event was we were able to nominate over 100 different nominations came through, and these were people that were under 40 and that are doing good in our community. And so there were 11 winners, and we had a committee that did, or a selection committee that went through the process, and so 11 people got to win. It was a really great event that we did.
Sounds like a great event.
Yes, and we gave back $1,100 to our local nonprofits, because each winner got to pick $100 or got to pick a nonprofit to give $100 to, and so it was really exciting. So with that being said, we do committees each year. So we'll do one for that, we'll do one for the Hot Street Party, and we'll do a committee for the Christmas Crawl that will be here before we know it, most likely. Even though it's in December, it'll be here before we know it. And so if you're interested in just diving a little bit deeper into Young Professionals, happy to share that information
Those are great
with you.
events. And
Yeah.
good ways to be involved, and there's all kinds of volunteer opportunities and
Yes.
and stuff you can do, and just right around the corner for July 4th if you're interested in that.
Yes.
And the Facebook page, it was easy. I found it this morning when we were getting ready, so it's just look up Young Professionals of Bartlesville, and it's all there. And so what else? We've got a lot of interesting stuff going on in the dealership. I mentioned the Land Cruisers and the Broncos, but there's also some great incentives right now. There's interest rate deals. Like at Arvest, we do a lot of business with Arvest too. But Toyota and Ford are offering some rates that are hard to compete with, where they do incentivize some of them, and as low as 0% right now on Tundras. A whole bunch of great rates on Fords that are almost too complex to get into, but 0% for 60 on Escape, plus $1,000 in rebate. On Bronco Sport, we've got 0 for 60 plus $1,000, and in some cases you can get $1,000 Conquest cash if you own a Jeep. That's on both Bronco and Bronco Sport. We offer Explorer as 0 for 60 plus $750. And those are on the 23 models. The 24s also have great incentives. 0% for 60 plus $1,500 on the Ford Edge. And there are just a few Edges left, because the Edge is being dropped for a little while in production. Won't be any more Edges. So these are the last ones. They've been a great vehicle for us, a great mid-size SUV, really stylish and comfortable. But these are the last ones, and so they're going to have great interest rates on them and incentives on those, I think, until we sell the last ones. Expedition also has a special 2.9 for 72 or $3,000 cash back, and 1.9% for 60 or 2.9 for 72 on the Escape. On the Explorer, it's 3.9 for 60. So great incentives there on a number of different Ford vehicles. And you can check all that out on our website at dungeschoice.com. You can get to either dealership's landing page, search all our inventory. Lots of great tools on there to help you, answer those questions, like when you're home buying. program you're going to have later this month. Like you could feel like you could almost do one of those on car buying.
We really should. Yes. We're always taking suggestions, so that's a good idea.
And we make that easy with technology on our website that we also use in the store, which is what where you can actually structure your own deal. You go in, we do our market-based pricing, but all the incentives are there. You can do what they call a soft pull on your credit, so it doesn't actually hit your credit, but you're using your actual information in partnership with the credit bureau that we all use to approve loans, and it goes in and it can. You can calculate your own payment. You can apply the rebate. I mentioned some of those are a choice between a rebate and an interest rate incentive. So you can sit there and make that choice and say, well, what if I want to use the Arvest loan and get the rebate? What's my payment then? Or if I just use the interest rate, and you see if it makes a difference in your payment. You can also check out leases, one-pay leases, cash deals, look at things like warranties and other products that we sell with the vehicles. So it just puts it all right out there up front. We've had it on the websites now for several years, and really in the last few months have started using it more and more in the showroom. So when you come in, we sit down, we present the numbers, we work through it, and so if you've started all that at home, we can start up right where you left off. And we don't have to ask all those questions again. Because a lot of times people spend hours, months doing research before they make a decision like that, whether it's buying a home or buying a vehicle. So it's great to have a tool like that where we can not only save you a lot of time and money, but it gives you transparency and easy answers to your questions.
Yeah. So Brad, you mentioned leasing. I feel like that is becoming more popular. Is that true?
Well, what you've got going on, of course, is interest rates are relatively high compared to what we've been used to in the last couple decades. Sure. And so payments are people's primary concern. We're seeing a lot of people that are having to do more with less, and and that comes into their vehicle. So leasing gives you an opportunity to have a lower payment often. It does take, particularly with the Toyotas that have such high resale values, you're really just buying that part of the vehicle depreciation, right? They're going to estimate how much the vehicle's worth at the end of the lease. So in a sense, you're buying half the car or whatever. Yeah. And then a lot of times the lease payments are comparatively lower.
Interesting.
$100 to $200 less sometimes. Yeah. Now there's limits on the miles you put on the vehicle.
Sure.
And a time frame, but you also have a choice at the end of the lease whether you can purchase the rest of the vehicle, you can let it go back to the manufacturer. If a lot of times in the last couple of years we've seen where it was worth more than what they estimated it would be worth, so you could actually buy it and then resell it or trade it in and actually make money that way. And so leasing just gives you choices, and that's like and it is not that common in our area. Some markets of the country lease 80-90% of their vehicles, particularly in major metro areas, very highly populated centers, places like Detroit, where a lot of people work for the car companies. they lease a lot. And I know in Buffalo, New York, I know a dealer up there, and they lease well over 3/4 of their vehicles. And it's just a different environment. Around here, people are pretty much want to own their vehicle, and a lot of times they're going to keep it longer. We see a lot of people keeping their cars, for a long time. And of course, a lot of people are interested in used vehicles, and we've got a great used vehicle selection. And the used vehicles can also, you can go in there on those and do the same thing with the payments and your interest rate. And that's you can calculate, know what your payment is, and I know that's what a lot of people are thinking when they're, well, what is it going to cost now? And with the interest rates being up a little bit, so it's easy to answer those questions at Doenges. And with our simple price, market-based pricing, and our salaried sales professionals, It's a non-commissioned environment. We try to keep everything streamlined and transparent and really focus on your satisfaction and take care of to make the hard stuff easy for you. And so anyway, that's great. And also, with every new vehicle you purchase at Doenges, you get complimentary Zurich Shield Elite Plus, which is an advanced ceramic technology we put on the paint of your vehicle.
Oh, I've heard of
and
this.
also on the interior of your vehicle. It prevents staining. And on the paint, it's really cool. Automotive paint has these microscopic little dimples in it, and dust and dirt collect in it. It's hard to clean your car it's like, why is that dirt sticking to the car when you're washing it with a power wand or something? And it's because it's in those ripples, in the little microscopic things. And this smooths all that out, so it cleans off much easier and helps protect the paint from things like acid rain and stuff like that might potentially cause damage to the vehicle. So we apply that to all the vehicles when they arrive, and we give that away when you purchase your new vehicle at Doenges. You can't purchase some additional insurance around it for years, and if you're interested in that. So one more time, we ought to go back and talk about Young Professionals and what you guys have coming up over the next month or so.
Yes, so we have our July 9th, we have our Sooner Junior event. It's going to be our social from 5 to 7. Bring your family, bring your spouse, bring your friends. And then we'll have our home buying series coming up July 18th and 24th. That'll be a lunch and learn from 11:30 to 1, both days. And so you can come one day or you can come both, but just check out our Facebook page to see what speakers are going to be on which days. And then again on August 9th, not quite on our Facebook page yet, we did give a little bit of a sneak peek, but Rena Cook is going to come and speak with us about how we should present to people, which I'm very excited about.
Those sound like great events, and mini golf, and don't forget about the July 4th celebrations between now and then, and the Winget tournament next week. And be sure to listen or watch tonight on KWN TV and radio. The Indians will be playing a doubleheader starting at 5:45, or come on down to the stadium. It'll probably be one of the better evenings for watching baseball for this time of year.
Oh, I guarantee you will.
So come on down and enjoy that. We're pushing for a really strong finish at the dealership for the month of June, and so if you're looking to put a deal together, we're really close to our objective and needing to put a few more deals together. So come on out. Everybody's I think there's this thing in the car business, people know that when the end of the month is,
Oh,
and
yes.
some people swoop in
Yes.
and try to get a great deal, but we're nearing that, and the manufacturers get all antsy too. They're like, it's the end of the month. Did you know? It's like, yes, I know.
We're aware. We got a calendar here too.
Yeah.
Well, it's the marketing program, I think, gets involved in that. But anyway, check us all out and come see the Land Cruiser. There's one out there right now, and all our great inventory. I'll be out there in a few minutes and ready to help you.
Where's your physical address for the folks who haven't been here before?
Okay, well, you want to look for the big blue oval and the Toyota monolith, and they're on Highway 75 on Washington Boulevard, 1901 and 1911, Southeast Washington Boulevard. We're on the west side of Highway 75 and just south of the No Water Road.
And where can we find you on the World Wide Webbage?
The easiest way is go to DoengesChoice.com. And from there, you can get to any of our other websites and do all that stuff I was talking about.
And that's going to put a bow on this edition of Car Talk. And you've been watching